Your avatars are a mess. Take off your shirt. Pants too. Better yet, go ahead and take off everything at this point. Ugh, repulsive.
I hope you're not trying to do anything untoward to this little newbie here, Daphne.
Look, this is your fault anyway. You let him go this long without explaining anything of import yet. Disgraceful.
And yet you were the next I was gonna see. Almost first you were. Newbie, this is Daphne, and she knows everything there is to know on avatars and emblems. They both can give you a lot of stats, and as I'm sure she'll remind you,
It changes how you look. Glamorous.
avatars are DFO's cosmetic system in the game. They have the slots as shown here on the avatars tab. You can change your character's costume from head to toe, each with individual pieces of gear from a plethora of sets to choose from. You can even change your skin tone, have an aura around your character, and even have a weapon skin.
It's open-ended. You can be a serious badass, or the goofiest looking clown. Up to you.
Avatars are only obtained rarely from events or from various methods in the Sarah shop. You can get them as individual pieces in the Mileage or Sarah shop, or as a whole set in exclusive limited time packages.
Almost all avatars can also be dyed, giving further customization options for appearance.
Now I know we can go on and on about how great the Dress Up Fighter Online is. Trust me, Daphne, I believe in it. But for the sake of this guide, I think that's about all we need to say.
You ruin everything. You also forgot to mention that cosmetic avatars are untradeable.
Oh yeah, fucking nipple. All avatars are bound on the character that receives them. Hopefully they finally fucking change that stupid decision and make them tradable already. Nipple? Nipple.
I agree. Nipple?
For the rest of the guide, we'll be looking at all of the stat capabilities that avatars bring, and luckily for us, barring any particular circumstances, you won't be having to make big compromises between your looks and stats. They are distinct from one another. So we talked about the cosmetic avatars that change your appearance, but the first concept we must understand when talking about stats of avatars is the clone avatar. For this example, I'm going to be using the base model called the advanced clone avatar. Keep in mind there is a stronger version that we'll get to shortly. Advanced clone avatars may seem confusing, but if we separate their constituent functions, it will make more sense. First off, clone avatars are called as such because they are intended to clone the cosmetic appearance of whatever avatar you had on before putting on the clone. If you didn't have any cosmetic avatars on, then your appearance will just be the default. Having a full set of 8 advanced clone avatars on it is providing nothing for you aesthetically.
Don't do that.
But what clone avatars do provide is stats. Each individual piece has a set of stats that you can choose from when obtaining the clone piece. I've shown most of them on screen. Each clone avatar also has 2 colored emblem slots in it, which I'll get to in more detail in a bit.
You'll also receive set effects for wearing 3, 5, and 8 clone avatars of the same rarity.
Now you'll notice that advanced avatars are also untradeable. If you want an advanced clone set, you'll need to get one on a per character basis. Speaking of which, where do you get them? Well, you can find selectable advanced avatar boxes in the Lost Treasure. You can also buy them individually from the Sarah shop.
Not recommended. Too overpriced. I'd wait to purchase a Sarah package instead.
Right, they almost always include an advanced avatar set in packages along with a lot of other themed goodies. Now, like I said earlier, the strongest avatars are simply called rare avatars. Rare clone avatars function nearly the same as advanced avatars, but with more perks. The range of stats that you can choose are the same, but they are more potent. Overall, you'll have a lot more raw stats, a stronger set effect, and a cool 8 set effect of massive town move speed. Rare avatars are also the only ones that have access to 2 more exclusive emblem slots, one on your top and bottom, that enable you to embed platinum emblems.
Rare avatars obtained by normal means are also tradable. You only need 1 set on your account to give to your alts of the same subclass.
Quite frankly, rare clones are about as good as they get when it comes to avatars. It should be noted though that there is also one subgenre of rare avatars that functions exactly the same as I just described, except that they aren't clones. They're just cool avatars with the stats embedded directly on the avatars. Because of this, it loses its ability to keep your avatars and stats separate, but if you're wearing it anyway, it doesn't really matter. They generally come in the form of generational sets and might even have extra cosmetic effects for wearing all pieces of the same set.
Oh look, wings.
So how do you get rare avatars? Well, aside from getting an untradeable set as a gold Lost Treasure prize a few times,
The only other means is via the bind cube.
the Bind Cube is a cash shop item that basically randomly combines 2 avatars of the same slot and gives you a random one back. Sometimes it might give you back a rare avatar. Trust me, it's not a pretty system, and hence why these avatars go for so much in the auction hall. But hey, at least you can trade them or sell them later if you don't want them. Enough about those though, there are still a few slots spots here in the avatar tab left to discuss. The skin slot is exactly that, your skin tone. You've only ever gotten them as a Sarah item, but it's relatively cheap. When you purchase them, you must make the decision of whether you want extra physical or magic defense as the base stat of the skin.
You can also use an item called the Skin Emblem Generator, which gives your skin avatar 2 multicolored emblem slots.
Generally, we only see it during special package sales, so its availability is limited, but it's obviously desired to get one whenever you can for some extra emblem slots. An aura is something that is often received in packages or very rarely in events. This item will often give you a boatload of stats, generally revolving around damage and or crit. Most all of them also have 2 multicolored emblem slots to put emblems into. They are cosmetically flashy, and as you can imagine, they can get pretty obnoxious. It's one of those avatars that has stats on the avatar itself.
There's an optional clone aura slot that you can purchase for 1 million gold in the Sarah shop.
That slot will allow you to apply the cosmetic appearance of any aura that you put into it. Remember, this is just the cosmetic appearance though. The only aura slot that gives you stats, however, is this one. There's a weapon avatar slot, but that is merely for cosmetics, and if I'm being honest, we've only ever had a handful of events or sales that have even given any to us. I'd be surprised if you had one, newbie, but hopefully that means they'll release more cool ones for us to play with. And that about covers all of the avatar slots. So far, these add up to a lot of stats on their own, but can you believe that we can actually make them a hell of a lot stronger? See all those empty spaces? Those are where we can embed emblems that have even more stats on them. Your emblems all reside in the tab next to avatars. You'll be able to equip emblems into your avatar slots, but keep in mind, once you embed an emblem into a gear, it cannot be removed afterwards. Instead, it can only be replaced by another emblem. Emblems have 2 distinguishing features, the color and the rarity. The color determines where the emblem can be equipped. See, your clone avatars only provide 4 slots for each of the colors: red, yellow, green, and blue. Multicolor emblem slots are wildcards that allow you to embed any colored emblem into them. The available stats on emblems come from a pool that is dependent also on the emblem's color. I've shown the potential stats for each emblem slot as shown here. The potency of those stats is determined by the rarity of the emblem, unique of course being the strongest. You'll also see that there are prismatic emblems, of which are all 4 colors combined. They're basically wildcards for emblems and fit into any emblem slot. There are also special emblems that are dual colored. They come in the red and green variety and the blue and yellow. Their emblems combine 2 stats as a pair, all into one emblem, which can then be embedded into either color slot.
Abusing that fact allows you to get stats that normally aren't available for an emblem color.
For instance, you can get some amount of physical crit rate on a red emblem slot by using a red and green dual colored emblem. Even though physical crit is normally not a stat option available for red colored emblem, the dual colored emblems are also the most stat efficient emblems in the game if you were just looking at the stats provided per emblem. Let me give you an example. 8 strength and physical crit dual colored emblems give more stats than 4 red strength and 4 green crit emblems. As you can imagine, some stats and emblem combinations are more desirable than others. Oftentimes you'll see people rocking the same emblems with little to no exceptions, but where can you get them? Emblems can be earned in a lot of different ways. Common and uncommon grade drop in dungeons quite frequently, though rare and unique emblems are quite a bit harder. You can get a selectable rare emblem box from the Lost Treasure, and sometimes they've given selectable unique emblem boxes as the silver prize in the Lost Treasure. It's been rare, but events have also given emblems out a few times. Events have also given emblems that break the mold in terms of the stats they can provide. For instance, yellow strength emblems. But mostly, you're gonna be getting the higher grade emblems by Daphne here.
Not unless you change your avatars first.
Your first method is by sundering. Basically is like disassembly, but for avatars, which in turn gives back emblems. All avatars are eligible, ranging from the basic cosmetic avatars all the way up to rare avatars, and as you might expect, the avatar rarity will determine what kind of emblems that you get back. Sundering an advanced avatar could get you back rare or unique rarity emblems, but sundering a rare avatar could give you rare, unique, and even platinum emblems, which we have yet to discuss. I can mention them real briefly though. Platinum emblems really do only one thing: grant +1 to a skill. What skill can it be? Well, instead of telling you that, I'll just tell you what it can't be. Generally, the most sought out ones are the ones that increase your buff skill by +1, since that will in turn buff up all of your other skills. Platinum emblems can only be embedded into platinum emblem slots, and if you remember, those are only found on rare and rare clone avatars, specifically the top and bottom, making 2 in total. There is also a platinum emblem slot in an exclusive aura aura called the Unique Motion Aura, but that's a very limited edition aura attained as the gold prize in Lost Treasure. Aside from sundry rare avatars, we've also got selectable platinum emblem boxes as the gold prize in Lost Treasure. The final method that you can get a platinum emblem is by synthesizing one.
I can synthesize emblems of a lower grade for a chance to make a higher grade one.
The minimum amount of emblems that you can put into the synthesizer is 2, but you can go up to 5 to increase your chances at an upgrade. Synthesizing, of course, can also be used to intentionally re-roll the emblem into another. It will expend the emblems per attempt, so much like a Bellows combined system with cards, proceed at your own caution. And seriously, the success chance seems really rigged towards failure. It might be a scam after all.
Hey, not true.
But that about concludes everything I have to say about the avatar system in DFO. It can get pretty complicated with all the nuances and dual purposes, but hopefully this has cleared up some things about it. Again, come back to Daphne if you need some avatars sundered or emblems synthesized.
Right. But only if you take off all your clothes this instant. I'm not playing around anymore.
Daphne, you really need to stop telling people that shit. Whoa. Is that a knife?
Look, all of this could have been easy.
Excuse me, youngster.
Looks like you want it the hard way.
Oh shit, dude!